Hey, I'm Vox, and today we're going to be looking at how to set up the AvianTAUR. Alright, so you want to be a Birb. Let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is follow VRChat's official documentation on how to install the Creator Companion. This is a tool that allows you to easily manage projects and install dependencies. So they already have a lot of instructions on this. I won't be covering exactly how to do this. Plus, I've already got it installed. It's kind of difficult to reinstall it on mine. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to go here. You're going to download the Creator Companion. You're going to install it. It will install a copy of Unity Hub and go through some setup steps to make sure that the files are associated in the correct locations. And then you'll be able to actually create projects and open them via the Creator Companion. All right, so the next thing you'll need to do is get some dependencies. So the first important dependency is the final IK stub. This is the script that allows us to actually move our legs. You're going to want to install, or you're going to want to download the Unity package from here. Next is OrionB Toon Shaders. So we are using these shaders to help with the plumage and some other effects on the avatar. You don't have to install this. This is an optional dependency, but it makes things a lot easier. If you'd like to use something else, you're welcome to it. But for the moment, though, I'm going to instruct that you grab this Toon Unity package. All right, and then in addition to those, you will also need the Unity package from our gumroad page, and it should be named AvianTAUR with a date code at the end. Those are the only 3 files you should need, and then we should be able to start making the actual project within the Creator Companion. All right, so in the Creator Companion, you will see a button on the top right that says Create New Project. We're going to click that. Currently, the Creator Companion supports multiple versions of Unity 2022 and 2019. There might be new versions in the future. They might remove some of these. I'm not sure. But for now, the Unity 2022 Avatar project is the place to start. Name it something. So we're going to name this AvianTAUR demo. And then give it a location to put it into. You can pick anything. The default location is very strange, so I would definitely recommend changing this. And then go ahead and click on Create New Project. All right, so before we do anything else or install any other pieces or click any of these buttons or do anything, make sure that we actually open the project first. So let's go ahead and click Open. It's going to take a long time to do this part. Okay, now that you can finally move around the Unity scene and everything is loaded, we can now install all of our dependencies and start to set up the custom version of the AvianTAUR. So the first thing I would recommend is going back to the Creator Companion, and there are a couple of pre-installed assets that I would recommend installing. The Gesture Manager will allow you to preview how the avatar actually works in game in the editor. However, if you don't have the full version of Final IK, you might see some strangeness. Expect that. The next thing is Audio Link. I would recommend installing this one as well, as we have Audio Link portions on this avatar. Okay, once those are installed and everything looks good on here, you can click back into the project and it will do another loading screen. You will probably see this pop up related to Audio Link. We have an empty project. We don't have anything in here. So go ahead and say I made a project. I made a backup. Go ahead. All right, so now all of those dependencies are installed, or all those assets are installed. So let's add some dependencies related to the AvianTAUR specifically. So the first thing that we'll install is going to be the Final IK stub. So you should be able to just drag that over into the assets window and let go of it. And it'll pop up this window here. Click on all and then click on import. Okay, and then when that's done, let's install the next one. So OrionB Toon Shader. There are other ways to install this as well, but we won't be covering that in this particular video. Okay, so that's finally installed. Now we can actually install the AvianTAUR specific assets. So there should be an AvianTAUR and then a version number at the end. You should be able to drag that in and drop it. Okay, so now that everything's installed, we can actually open up the example scene and upload the avatar. So the first thing you want to do is navigate to Assets, AvianTAUR, Base, Examples, Scenes start here. And in there you'll find a file called AvianTAUR000. This is the main example file. Double click this to open it. In here, you'll find a bunch of different examples. You'll see the 3 colored templates as well as a grayed out simple white version. There is an extra yellow one because there is a medium version. This version has everything needed removed from it to make it into medium quality. And that's just an example of how to do that so you know what to do for your own custom ones. So for this example, we're going to use the yellow full version. So I'm going to move this over to the center 0, 0. You don't have to actually do this. I'm just doing it because it looks a little simpler. And I'm going to hide the template version. All right, so in this one, the first thing you need to do is you need to actually put your license key in. So navigate to AvianTAUR, AvianTAUR, and then under license key entry, there is a series of X's here. What you want to do is just replace this long series of code with your license key. I have an example one here, so I'm going to copy that in. And that'll place it here. You do not need to replace the name on this location right here, just inside the contact sender custom tag. All right, now that that's installed, we're going to actually upload it. So at the top, click on VRChat SDK, show control panel. Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to log in and then make sure you are allowed to publish 2 avatars. Click on the Builder tab, give your avatar a name, and I've already given this one a picture, but if you want to capture a new picture, you can just click on Capture from Scene, Capture, or you can select a thumbnail and actually upload a file. All right, so the next thing you'll do is just scroll down to the very bottom and then click on this checkbox that says I've agreed, and then Build and Publish. If you get this pop-up related to bad lighting fix, go ahead and say yes, recommended. All right, when that's finally all done, you'll get a green box that says upload succeeded. At this point, you'll be able to log into VRChat and actually use the avatar. Okay, so now we're going to cover how to make a custom version of the AvianTAUR. Let's say that you've had some textures made from someone, or you made them yourself. So you got these beautiful textures, you just need to figure out how to actually apply them to your avatar, get your blend shapes set, make all the options set correctly. So we're going to start with the template gray version, and we're going to start modifying this. So the first thing we want to do is navigate to AvianTAUR base examples. Inside there's a default folder along with materials. What you want to do is you want to highlight these materials and duplicate them. And then drag these materials into a custom folder of your character's name or somewhere that you can find them easily. I'd recommend making a folder named custom and then having your character's name underneath that and then putting those inside of that. I'll be using an example from a commissioner named Orion, so all of my files here will be named Orion. So now that you have these materials here, we need to start customizing them. So the first thing you want to do is probably unlock all of them. They will turn blue for a moment as they unlock. Okay, now we're going to start applying the actual textures to these files, and then you can start dragging in the textures for each one of these into the texture channel under the color and alpha section if you're using Poyomi. If you're using something else, you'll have to follow whatever shader standards there are for that particular shader. All right, so one thing I want to make a note of is that the plumage actually uses the same texture color as the base body. So make sure that you drag your body into the texture of the plumage as well. Okay, so once all of those are actually installed into those shaders, then you can start applying your shaders to the actual avatar. You can just drag them directly from the asset window up into the up onto the character like this. However, you'll notice that sometimes, depending on where you drag, it gets kind of difficult to actually land it on the right spot. So if you need to click on specific pieces, you can dig down into the files here under AvianTAUR, AvianTAUR meshes, and then there's the head feathers, tail feathers, wings, middle digits, some other things like that. And under optional, there's a few other things too, like the plumage and the racket tail and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do those via the menu here. But you're welcome to try and drag them directly on the avatar if you'd like. One thing to note is that the middle digits actually do use the same texture as the body, so you can just use the same material for both of those. Also, there is a hidden object under Meshes Beak. This is the first-person beak that will appear in the options when you have that turned on. It uses the same material as the body. If you don't assign this, then you'll have a different colored beak that you see that everybody else does not see. Okay, so now my character is fully assembled. However, there's some extra pieces that need to be deleted. This particular character that I'm doing does not have any of the ears and does not use the webbing. So literally, you can just click on the webbing and hit delete. You can do this for any pieces that you don't intend to use. So for example, I'm not using the cheek fluff, the nose feathers, the ears, the racket tail, or even the eyebrows on this avatar. Now, with the eyebrows, you'll notice that they stay on there, even though they are actually deleted. Once you actually load it in game, they will shrink inside the head and disappear. It's a weird workaround related to how face tracking has to be set up for this avatar. All right, so now that you have the textures applied, let's look at blend shapes. So what you can do is you can click on the body object that's under AvianTAUR body. And there is a blend shape button here with a small triangle next to it. Hit that button, and you'll get the long list of blend shapes. Most of these are automatic things that you will not be touching. Face tracking, talking blend shapes, default blend shapes, things like that. There is a list all the way at the very bottom. There starts a category called custom. And everything under this is the parts that are expected to be changed. You can adjust the beak shape quite a bit. You can make it look like a duck. And you can also adjust the body sizes. So you can make it more feminine, thinner, chunkier. One thing you'll notice is that the plumage does not follow along with it. So even though I've adjusted that shape, the plumage did not follow. So you will have to actually make this change in multiple locations. In the plumage section, you'll see the actual plumage itself has the same list of blend shapes. So just make the same changes that you did on the body to the plumage and the plumage inverted. So if I decide I want to use thin, I need to also change this here and here. Additionally, if you're using the middle digits, the third digits, they have a separate set of blend shapes and material mesh renderer too. Those are under meshes, middle digits. They only have 3 blend shapes related to them, so hopefully it's only these 3 that you have to mess with. These are if you want to do thinner is one of them. Also, you can change the feet, claws, size, and things like that. So there's a lot of different pieces and options here. You can even make the wings longer if you'd like, using the blend shapes. You can make them larger in game, but not longer. The tail feathers can be made longer, shorter, droopier. There's all kinds of options in here. So just play with all the blend shapes until you like the appearance of the avatar, and then we can look at the other options to remove or add. So under optional, so under AvianTAUR optional, there are a couple different things. I'm just going to go and explain what each of these does. The first one is the belly movement. There are a set of sliders to make the belly larger and the lower belly larger as well. This option here adds controls to allow that to jiggle around. If you don't ever intend to use the larger bellies, you can safely delete this just by hitting delete. The finger toe controls. This is related to being able to control the feet with your hands and moving the fingers. By default, even without this enabled, you'll be able to still move the feet, but you won't be able to curl the fingers and curl the toes. If you want to be able to curl the toes, you can leave this option in here, or you can delete it. If you delete this, you'll save on contacts. The wink head tilt is related to one of the gestures that allows you to wink and then tilt your head and make the wink in that direction. This uses a few contacts to make that happen, and can be removed if you want to. The full body auto poses is related to full body movement when you're in certain poses, specifically the lay left, lay right, lay on back. Those poses allow you to lift your feet if you have full body, and roll your hips to change poses automatically if you are in full body. If you don't have full body trackers, you can safely delete this, and it will save on performance slightly. The wing dynamics, there are a bunch of fizz bones for the wings that will make the wings jiggle and move. These are quite a bit of fizz bones though, and unfortunately having them all enabled will prevent you from being able to get to medium quality. So these are offered as an option to delete as well, if you'd like to remove them. The toe dynamics are the same thing. So these are the ability for other people to touch your toes and for you to wiggle your feet and see them wiggle slightly. You can remove these fizz bones as well for performance reasons. The cameras, there are two cameras on this avatar. One is a HUD that allows you to see a rear view mirror from behind you. And the other one is a third-person camera for desktop mode. If you would like to not use these, once again to save on performance, you can just delete these as well. These don't affect the actual avatar performance ranking, but they do affect the in-game visible performance. Now, it is only for you. You're the only one that will ever, like the first-person player is the only one that will ever see these. So other players will not be affected by this choice at all. It's only for yourself. The sounds, there are two sets of sounds on this avatar, wing flaps and chirps. And if you would like to not use those for any reason, you can just delete them from here. All right, that should cover all of the optional features and all of the custom setup. At this point, you just do the, make sure you put the license key in like we talked about before under AvianTAUR license key, and then put your license key in here. And at that point, you're ready to do an upload of your own custom version. So go ahead and hop in there, take flight, and have fun. All right, if you have any questions at all, feel free to message us on our Discord. In the meantime, we'll catch you later.